about to come to hand, bro. Are you alright? Should've dunked on his ass.
As we all know, there are levels to any sport, and basketball is just no different. A D1 hooper is way better than a regular hooper. An overseas pro, on the other hand, is generally speaking better than a college player. However, an NBA player is leagues above any other hooper out there. This did not stop YouTubers from challenging NBA players to a 1v1 game. Spoiler alert, it did not end well for them. We're gonna kick this video off by looking at how James Harden beat probably the two best hoopers out of 2Hype. Jesser challenged James Harden to a 1v1 game and he did put up a fight. However, it wasn't even close enough. At that time, James Harden played for the Houston Rockets and he was an absolute beast to say the least. Jesser stood no chance. I mean, the guy's an NBA player. The funny thing about it is that Harden was not even going 10%, probably not even 5%. He was just messing around and just having fun. James was not done with 2Hype yet. He also played against LSK, who at the time was probably the best hooper out of 2Hype, and one of the best hoopers in the YouTube basketball community. He was an elite D1 hooper who could shoot, drive to the basket, play D. On top of that, he's 6'10", damn near 7 feet tall. Despite all of that, James Harden was not fazed whatsoever, barely even taking the game seriously, letting LSK shoot and overall messing around. LSK ended up doing better than Jesser did. However, once again, it was not close enough to even make James Harden sweat.
You wanna shoot it? Uh-oh.
40? You tired, huh? Yeah, 40 push-ups.
You might argue that challenging an active NBA star is a terrible mistake. However, if you played a retired NBA hooper, the results would be different, right? Wrong. Because in this example, we will cover what happened to Cash Nasty when he challenged a retired NBA champion, Glenn Davis, to a 1v1. Back in his prime, Glenn Davis was an absolute force not to be reckoned with. At some point, he won an NBA championship and earned his nickname, Big Baby. Any NBA player that has big in their name is going to be a massive hooper, and quite literally, Glenn Davis was. This did not scare Cash whatsoever, and props to Cash, he did put up a fight against the retired NBA champion. Mind you, at this time, Glenn Davis was in his mid to late 30s, already retired from the NBA 5 years from now at this point. To say that he bodied Cash physically would be an understatement. Glenn would take it to the rack and score on Cash multiple times. Cash would fight back and he managed to get a few buckets, making the game much more interesting. However, it wasn't enough. Cash stood no chance.
I'm about to come to hand, bro. Are you alright? Should've dunked on his ass. I don't think I'd ever see you make a three yet. You want it right here?
What's crazier is that Cash literally ended up with a back injury after the game. I have never seen Cash Nasty get physically outmatched to the point where he got injured.
The guys don't know, man, I am injured. This is probably the worst injury I've had. It hurts to take a shit. It hurts to even wash my balls this morning right here, man. So I've been hurt at the time, man. You did shoulder day, remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then later on that day, I went to go play Glenn Davis, remember that? So I basically over-exert your body, what do people say? I just exhaust my body, and I was in the wrong position, did it right here.
At this point, it's safe to say that the NBA players are without a shadow of a doubt better than any regular hoopers and YouTube hoopers. What about G League players? Honestly, I think that there are a few G League players that are better than some hoopers in the NBA. Which brings us to the third example of the video. T-Jazz, who is arguably one of the best hoopers in the YouTube basketball community, challenged Alex Antetokounmpo, who is Giannis's brother that plays in the G League. And just like like the previous example, it was an absolute slaughter. TJS was doing his absolute best, however, Alex was way bigger and way quicker and ready for anything that TJS had to throw at him. Alex pretty much can do it all. Play defense, shoot threes, drive to the basket. Every time that Alex would do a spin move, TJS literally had no answer for it. Props to TJS though for putting up a fight and actually managing to score a few points against Alex. However, the prime example of when challenging an NBA player goes wrong is when Cody challenged none other than Luka Doncic to a 1v1 game.
It's unfair. It does.
I ain't gonna lie, I've never seen the other dude play ball.
So
I'm probably gonna go with Luka.
A few months ago, Dude Perfect had Luka as a guest on their show, and Cody was a big fan of Luka and decided to 1v1 him. And despite Cody being athletic and fairly big in size, he got absolutely outmatched in every single aspect of the game. At some point, he even got dunked on.
That boom, boom, left. No, we carried it.
Jones's ball.
He did.
Hey, you pay him. You pay him.
No, I didn't say a thing.
Cody ended up losing the same way Flight lost to Soul Illuminati. 11-zip.
11-zip.
Cody couldn't even score a single bucket. At least LSK and Cash managed to score some point. But either way, NBA players are on a whole new level, and there is a reason why it's extremely difficult to make it to the NBA. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for the 1v1 thoughts. If you want to go check out my page, it is The Director. I post content on there as well. Link will be down in the description for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.
You don't realize how hard the NBA is until you really are in the NBA, like in it. Like the daily grind of everything. When you're young, it's the worst. It's like you playing play group, you doing shoot around practice, everything the team does you do, and then you're doing everything more. Yeah, it's like all the rehab guys. If you're young, you're thrown into everything. Yeah, and then you go into the you play a G League game. I remember I played a G League game. Drive back, you playing an NBA game at night. Yep. You're constantly you're like, why is it like this? I'm tired. How do you want me to be productive if I'm exhausted? Right. And then treatment times, you're the first one there. You're the last one to leave. And when it works out, everybody's like, oh, you're the first one in the gym, last one to leave. Oh, great story, this and that. It's like, bro, I had no choice. Right. Yeah. That's just how it's set up.
I may suck for an NBA player. Those guys are pretty good, but I don't suck compared to you. You suck compared to me.
Brian Scalabrine, aka White Mamba, is a former NBA player. He played in the league for 11 years. Although he wasn't the best or an all-star player, he played in the NBA for more than a decade for a reason. One day he was at a random gym practicing a few shots and getting some work done when all of a sudden a high school hooper called him out.
I get in the video? I get in the video? First class.
Game 2. Just whatever. You're going to just dribble around till I get my ass tired. Where you guys play?
Brian immediately accepted the challenge and called him out to a 1v1. He was going to teach this young hooper a lesson. And this young hooper can hoop. You can tell by the way he shoots and his form and all of that. However, there are levels to this game. White Mamba bodied this kid. And despite him being much older and heavier, he was still moving fast and has always been there in his face no matter how fast the young hooper went. He was still just blocking his shots left and right. He was reading them like an open book. Whenever Brian gets the ball, he'd play bully ball and lay the ball with relative ease.
Hey! Oh! Hey! Hey!
You said hit the weight room.
Hey! Hey! Oh! Hey! Hey!
The only way the challenger managed to stop Brian was to literally foul him. Other than that, he stood no chance.
Baby.
Scalabrini ended up skunking his challenger 11-0. He gave the same work to that Solomato he gave Flight Reacts 5 years ago.
11th zip.
You're probably sick and tired of hearing people say that they're better than you, which is just a ridiculous statement. And you basically just put an open challenge to everybody. All right, come play me a one-on-one. Is that basically what happened?
So people immediately started tweeting, "Oh, you suck, Scal. I'll beat you." And I'm like, listen, I may suck for an NBA player. Like, those guys are pretty good, but I don't suck compared to you. Like, you suck compared to me. I suck compared to Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook and those guys. So let's just do it. So we invite the city of basically all New England can send in their videos. I just, went one-on-one against 5 different guys, and they scored about what they don't recognize, like, and what you and me do recognize. When you're in the NBA, there's all kinds of tells, right? Like, if a guy puts his hand like that, you know what he's going to do. If a guy does a hesitation, you know what he's going to do. Well, all that stuff is like in real time in the NBA. You got to be so on top of the reads. It's not speed. You can't look at me and say, like, my brain is slow. Like, my brain is fast. Like, my body might be slow, but I have to read whether a guy's going to shoot, drive, go to the middle, pass. If you're not reading those things, you're not playing in the NBA. And there's countless guys, 6'10", athletic, strong, and they don't read, like, the intricacies of the game. They don't see a hesitation dribble. They don't move until the ball is passed. Duncan, I'm moving when the ball is on the gather. If I'm not, I'm dead. I'm dead in the water. So, like, that me having to analyze the game like that allows me to play a guy one-on-one. It's like I can literally, like, in the middle of his inside out move, think what I'm eating for dinner and still challenge his shot. It's not like I'm doing this against this high level these people. So anyways, I do that. I watch them. Most guys who scored on me, they scored the first or second possession. And then once I figure them out, you're like, I've seen this 1,000 times. You like to drive left, go right. You like to step back right and all that. Like, I know that, like, within 3 possessions. These are players I've never played before. And then the sheer size of being 6'9", 250, it's tough for people. So that's how it all played out. And it wasn't really that challenging.
Max is nice as a comedian who is known for imitating NBA players and pretty much making funny skits. However, he's also quite good at basketball. He has a great fundamental, and he also can be deadly on the court. One day he challenged Giannis Antetokounmpo to a quick play. Right off the bat, you can tell Max stands no chance, and he knows it all so well. So he did the only thing that he could, and that is to foul the shit out of Giannis.
When I said you want that action,
He was holding him, grabbing him, and slapped him as he was laying the ball. So Giannis had to go again, except this time, he was ready for whatever Max was going to throw at him. Max doubled down on the fouling part, grabbing him with both of his arms, trying to pull him from the basket and stop him from scoring on him. But Giannis was not going for any of that, and immediately unleashed his Greek freak strength and dunked the ball like it owed him money. And so it was funny seeing Max have to call travel, despite fouling Giannis 4 or 5 times. But you can tell he was just joking and playing around. WNBA players are not to be played with or underestimated. They can hoop, and they are definitely better than the average hooper. Liz Camage, who holds the WNBA single-game scoring record with a 53-point performance, was working on her game in a hooping gym, and she was dropping everyone off.
That's how you feel? Bet. Damn, boy. Hey! 5, 4, 3, go. Five, 4, 3, 2, get out of here! 5,
6 3s, no love. 6 3s, no love.
We have to give credit where credit is due. No one on that court stood a chance against her. That's the difference between regular hoopers and NBA players. Just watch these clips, and you will get my point.
So we line out. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ready, free throw.
Oh my God. Come on, boy. Liz, is it easy? Is it easy right now?
So easy.
Finally on this list, we have the former NBA legend Dwayne Wade versus none other than his own son, Zaire Wade. Zaire Blessing Wade, an American professional basketball player who plays for the Cape Town Tigers of the Basketball Africa League, aka the BAL. He's an elite hooper who can hold his own pretty well. However, despite his strength and shiftiness, his father Dwayne Wade was on another level. Despite D. Wade being 40 years old, retired NBA player, he still managed to outmatch Zaire in a brutal fashion, quite literally. He was playing super physical, obviously, pushing Zaire to get the better properly, give him hard-earned buckets. I can't help but notice how NBA players are leagues over about any other hooper that exists. I honestly don't know which is more brutal, his physicality or his trash talk.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Crap. You want to beat me? You got to beat me. I ain't letting you win.
4, 3, 2.
Wow. You went off of post-ups. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You can't beat me.
You 240.
Yep. You are 170.
No jumpers. Play me all jumpers. See what happens.
I don't play all jumpers. I've never played that game of basketball. Go back and watch.
First of all, you had the most fouls I've ever seen in a quick game of one-on-one.
Well, yeah, whatever. I got the most points you've seen too.
All jokes aside, it was a great 1v1 with both sides putting in their game in all.
There's a legendary quote that came from that, which is that I'm way closer to LeBron than you are to me.
Yeah.
which is so incredibly true also, and it just needs to be reiterated.
We all know at this point that NBA players are leagues above everyone else, and because of that, it's not really surprising to see a retired pro skunk a random trash talker at a gym.
Luka doesn't know how he wants to end it. He's toying with him. Drive. Oh, yeah.
However, most of the time they are just having fun with it and not really being serious. However, sometimes they actually don't hold back and go full beast mode. A prime example of NBA players not holding back is when a friend of the NBA legend Stephen Curry challenged him to a quick 1v1. Steph was in regular clothes, so he was not that serious at first. However, it all changed once his friend actually managed to score on him. You can easily tell that his friend knows how to hoop. He is not a random NPC. However, Steph had to get a bit more serious and not hold back this time.
He was already tired. He just, Hold it. And one rep.
And as you can clearly see, he was saucing him up between the leg dribbles and then hit him with a nasty step back. His friend tried to foul him, but all he got was an N1. Steph was just too much for him to handle. The real definition of there is levels to this. But that wasn't enough because Steph had to put the icing on the cake by breaking his ankles.
We'll stand in front though.
That shot just gives me butterflies, man. Kind of makes me blush too. And he when he does that, bro.
Yeah, look at Curry, man. Just trying to do great things in the world. You know what I'm saying? I had to say it. All right.
I don't know which is more embarrassing, getting your ankle snatched or getting viciously dunked on by Ja Morant.
Yeah, look at this defense. I've been in the gym. Oh, yeah. I've been in the gym.
You know it's serious when Shaq is draining threes and doing stuff like this.
Rebound, baby. Talking that shit to me. Hold on. Get your ass up out of here. Get your ass up out of here. Oh, yeah. All right there. All right there. I'm on it. Ain't gonna make no comeback. You gotta get LeBron, you thought I was getting swept? You thought I was getting swept?
He probably made more threes in that single game than his entire career.
Steph Curry. Steph Curry. The black Steph Curry.
And of course, it wouldn't be a Shaq's game unless there is a mean dunk.
Oh, come on, no.
We all know Trae Young has no chill, but breaking a kid's ankles without any remorse is the definition of not holding back.
Too much space! Get a stop, last possession! Get a stop, last possession! Get a stop, last possession!
And of course, we can't forget the infamous Giannis dunk. That dunk sounded brutal. Now you might argue that most of these clips are NBA players versus the average guy, and that is expected for them to destroy someone who is not a pro or barely plays basketball. And for that argument, I got this example to prove once again that NBA players are way better than any other hooper. We all know how good J-Lo is. He earned the nickname the shiftiest hooper on YouTube for a good reason. He is not to be played with. However, when he challenged Trey Lewis, who is a former G League player and currently plays for the ABA League, the difference between the two athletes was stark.
He tired. He tired. Game time. Into here.
That is a Montenegro foul.
The first game was so close and they could have went both ways. However, the second game is where the real difference showed up. Jordan aka J-Lo got extremely tired. However, Trey was not phased whatsoever and kept up the pace, almost skunking J-Lo, and earned a one-sided victory. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, is a key difference between NBA players and regular hoopers: stamina. It's not always just about speed or height or how well you can shoot the ball. A lot of it boils down to how long can you stay on the court while performing as if you just started the game. The conditioning and endurance training that goes into it is tough to say the least.
Run the block!
Oh, he was already tired. He just, you know.
Hold it! Hey, one round! Will stand in front though.
Yeah, look at Curry, man. Just trying to do
Sports
great
Center
things
and
in the world,
everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, we gotta look at this
Yeah,
like
look at
10
Curry,
times,
man.
man.
Just trying to do great things in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, yo.
Yeah, look at Curry, man. Just trying to do great things in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, this is just inspirational,
Yeah, look at
bro.
Curry, man.
Bro, I'm gonna watch this
Just
quick
trying to do
clip
great
for like
things in the world,
5 minutes, bro. This is inspirational, bro. I don't
Yeah,
care what
look at Curry,
anybody
man.
says.
In this example, these hoopers literally tried to do this flashy move to actual NBA pros.
Yeah, breathe. Hey, listen. League talent and YouTube talent's a little different.
We'll do it.
Alright, here we go.
Damn, league strength a little different.
Alright, here we go.
As we all know, generally speaking, NBA players are leagues above any other type of hoopers out there. We have seen time and time again college hoopers, elite hoopers, hell, even overseas pros challenge NBA players, and the outcome is always the same. These NBA players, retired or not, cannot be stopped. However, this did not stop YouTubers from calling NBA players out to 1v1s and challenging them in their own sport, which they do for a living.
Yo, if he would have dunked on me right there, this video would have been on.
We're gonna kick this video off by looking at Marcellus Howard's most humiliating basketball loss on YouTube. Marcellus Howard challenged an NBA G League player, Jordan Ford, to a 1v1 game, and it was an absolute slaughter. One of the most one-sided games that I have ever seen on YouTube. Marcellus Howard only scored 3 points the entire game. Meanwhile, Jordan had 12. The crazy part is that Marcellus played amazing defense, was there every single time Jordan attempted a jump shot. Played his heart out. Honestly, there is nothing more that Cell could have done differently that would have changed the outcome of the game.
Why does he shoot such a high percentage?
Am I not there on every shot?
You're there, man.
Am I there on every shot? Let me know.
I know you're not gonna block it though.
I gotta try something different.
Jordan was hitting every single shot. It was so ridiculous that mid-game, Cell told the cameraman that Jordan at some point has to miss. He can't keep hitting those contested shots.
3-1? Yeah. He gonna miss one of these. He gonna have to.
And boy was he wrong. Not only Jordan splashed a three-pointer right in front of Cell after uttering those words, but he went on a shooting spree, not missing a single shot. One of the few times that Jordan missed was when he literally took a deep shot from damn near half court, just to play around. To be fair, we have to give props to Cell for actually finishing the game and playing his heart out and actually managing to steal the ball from Jordan and score a few points. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Jordan Ford was on another level. I feel like this game is like the perfect example of there is levels to this game. Kenny Chow and Drifty J barely stand a chance against Marcellus Howard. However, Jordan Ford makes Marcellus Howard look like an amateur.
Talk to him.
I ain't gotta say nothing. I ain't even gotta say nothing.
Despite this loss being one of Marcelo's worst ones, it's not as bad as DC Heat loss to a certain NBA player. Back in 2017, DC Heat challenged a former NBA player named Anthony Tolliver. DC Heat started the game hot, scoring few buckets and being in good rhythm. However, once Anthony picked up the pace and got his shots on, the game became something different. After DC Heat scored the 4th point, it was over. Tolliver would hit 3-pointers from deep, play the ball whenever he wants to. At some point, DC Heat got dunked on. DC Heat tried his best, but Anthony was on another level. He was hitting some tough shots and too fast for DC to stop him from driving to the basket. DC is definitely a skilled hooper. He has an impressive resume. He even beat Devontae Frigge in a 1v1. However, it wasn't even close enough to stop the former NBA player. Jesser is arguably one of the best hoopers in 2High. He is known for challenging elite hoopers to various different basketball challenges as well as 1v1s. However, in this case, he bit off more than he could chew. A couple of years ago, Jesser challenged Jaren Jackson to a 1v1. Jesser did his absolute best, playing his heart out both defensively and offensively. However, it wasn't enough to make the NBA star sweat. Jackson was having fun, barely even trying. I mean, just take a look at these clips. He was taking it so lightly that at some point he even picked up a backpack and taunted Jesser in his face.
Your back? Yeah. What the hell is going on right now? So you like high school? This is a high school group. Oh, you know I got the school on me, my own backpack on.
The ironic part is that after Jesser said that there is no way Jackson is gonna score on him while wearing a backpack, and Jackson immediately dunks on him. Jesser was outmatched in every single aspect of the game. Meanwhile, Jaren was just having fun, taking few shots here and there, and even dunked on Jesser a couple of times with terrifying ease. Once again, big props to Jesser for putting up a good fight and actually standing his ground. After all, he managed to score 8 buckets on an NBA star.
Alright, here goes Win.
Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Cam Wilder. Cam Wilder challenged Kyrie Walker, who is an NBA G League player, to a 1v1, and Kyrie did not disappoint. He absolutely destroyed Cam Wilder, despite Cam being one of the best hoopers out of Zone 6. Kyrie Walker ended up skunking Cam in a perfect example of one-sided game. Cam couldn't do anything to stop the G League hooper.
Hey, breathe. Hey, listen. League talent and YouTube talent's a little different.
We'll do it.
However, Kyrie was not even done yet with Zone 6. Drifty J challenged Kyrie to a 1v1 to avenge Cam Wilder.
Jada, what you think? Kyrie Walker, 13. We going to 13. 1v1. What you got?
13-0 for sure.
Who? Me or him?
Him. Oh, fuck.
However, just like before, Drifty stood no chance whatsoever. Drifty J got skunked and suffered the same fate as his teammate Cam Wilder.
Bye-bye. 14-0.
Bye. I told you he wasn't gonna score.
We all have seen those videos of NBA players destroying regular hoopers. There are countless of them out there on the internet. However, sometimes the exact opposite happens and shocks everyone watching. Marcellus Howard challenged Jalen Clark, who is currently an NBA player. He's very talented and all-around good hooper. That's expected from a professional basketball player. Sel, on the other hand, is a staple in the basketball community. However, he's not a professional. Despite the tilted odds, Marcellus won the game. Jalen dominated the first few minutes of the game. However, for some reason along the way, Sel felt some type of way. Guess he didn't like the fact that Jalen was toying with him and decided to turn up. Almost every single time the pro hooper would dribble the board, Sel would snatch it out of his hands. I have never seen a professional hooper get dominated by a YouTuber like that.
Get him, yo! Oh. Get him, yo! He lost the dribble. Hey, yo!
Jalen literally scored a single bucket. Sel, without a shadow of a doubt, dominated that game.
Wow. That's heavy. Hey, that's elite. 5-1. That's bad. That's
He's actually certified. I'll give him that. He is certified hooper.
Hey, people sleep, man. I play cards, bro, man. Come on now. Come on.
WNBA players are nothing to play with. We have seen them time and time again destroy regular hoopers. The skill gap is actually insane between a pro and a regular player. However, sometimes it doesn't play out the way as expected. A WNBA player was practicing in a gym against college hoopers, and to be fair, she got outmatched. Although it wasn't a proper 1v1 or a 2v2, they were just practicing after all. It was still bad. The college hooper blew past her few times, and honestly it seems like she didn't have an answer for it. She just simply couldn't block him. Respectfully, offensively, she held her own. Now on defense, Lord Jesus. It was so bad that at some point she pulled one of them by his shirt and he still managed to lay the ball.
5, 4, 3. That's 3! Whoa! No!
She literally has to foul them on every single drive. She was draining threes and got some nice shots, but overall I feel like she got outmatched. Just watch these clips and let me know what you think. Kyrie Walker is a G League player. He is known for his strength and dominant style of play. He challenged hoopers from Zone 6 and managed to skunk 2 of them with relative ease.
Bye-bye. 14-0. Bye. I told you he wasn't going to score.
However, when it came down to the final game, which was against Ryan the Crash Dummy, it was a complete different story. Kyrie probably thought it was going to be another quick skunk or at least a quick and easy victory. Unfortunately for him, Ryan is not only one of the most talented hoopers out of Zone 6, but he's also unpredictable. Right off the bat, the game was tough and competitive. However, you can tell that Kyrie was dominant and was confident enough that he was going to win. After all, he's a pro. Remember when I said that Ryan is unpredictable and should not be slept on? Because out of nowhere, Ryan tapped into his inner bag and just started hitting some tough shots. He was torching Kyrie.
There you go.
Finally, bro. Top of the key! Crash! Nasty!
You can look at the shock and terror on Kyrie's face. Kyrie went from trying some fancy moves to guarding Crash Dummy like it was the finals.
Oh, now he like me. Now he wanna play close, you hear me? Just hold your follow through.
Take another dribble right here. Come on, Crash! Stop fucking playing. Come on, Crash!
The man was playing Hall of Fame defense like his livelihood depended on it. It was so close that if Brian managed to score one more bucket, he would have won. Fortunately for Kyrie, he managed to score a few points and come out on top, barely winning the game. A W is a W, I can't take that from Kyrie. However, it was way too close and could have went both ways.
You had a hell of a game on my mama.
Beat the shit out of Jeffy, but then can't beat him. Sorry, though. I couldn't hit nothing. It happens. Good game. Really, game was way too close.
For you.
Play again. I'm dead ass. You're not. You really won't score. But hey, I got you though, bro.
Nah, but I'll just decide. Hey, Kyrie pressure, bro. Probably one of the best players I ever guarded. This is a hell of a game. If you made this far, please like and subscribe. You got anything else to say?
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate my dog coming out. 2 months, niggas don't do that.
Oh no, of course, bro. I like playing basketball, bro. At the end of the day.
Nah,
So
nigga, I
good.
respect it.
I came for my cardio, get right. So it was lit.
For sure, bro. For sure.
Crazy how Kyrie almost let a chronic alcoholic beat him. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Almost beat Kyrie with the rest of Zone 6 got swept by him. Jabari Parker is a former NBA player who played for the Bucks as well as the Bulls. Participated in a quick tournament and he was cooking. Jabari was making threes, showcasing his skills and NBA talent. However, another hooper in that game stood up toe-to-toe with a professional player. And that hooper is none other than G43. G43 is a former D3 player and he was draining threes and splashing buckets right in front of Parry's face.
I thought he was gonna jump, huh? That's tough. Ain't my job. G4-3. G4-3.
It was a cool rivalry and interesting to watch. Back in 2020, Jesser challenged an NBA player, KJ Martin, to a 1v1. It was an extremely close game, both players were competitive and you can tell that they really wanted to take the W. It was so close that at some point the score was 15-15. All they had to do was score a single point. Martin missed a shot, Jesser grabbed the board and drained a three, winning the game and therefore beating an NBA player.
Let's go!
The fact that the game was as close as it was already a massive W for Jesser. However, to come out on top and actually win is impressive to say the least. This had to be one of the best wins that Jesser ever had in his career.
I've always tried to walk the line between us. So pay no mind to my pride. I don't need it.